right. Hello and welcome to our April Body Signals Workshop. I'm Dr. Jeremy Meadows, and I am so happy to be here with all of you today. And I am really looking forward to helping you understand how to get the most out of this workshop. So for all of you who are watching, go ahead and drop everything that you're doing, pick up a pen, and we're going to go over a lot of information in a short period of time. So I am very excited that you have all joined me today. As you know, each and every month, we are going live on Facebook and on Zoom so that we can bring you information that is going to help to change your life. Today, we're talking about something that is very apropos. We're talking about allergies and asthma today. You'll understand how to bring better health to yourself and to your family and your community by following us each and every month. This month, we chose allergies and asthma because why? Because pollen is floating in the air and everybody is starting to feel the effects of this pollen. So we've been talking to patients in our office every day about what is going on. There is a major gearing up for spring. We're seeing those April showers hopefully turning into May flowers. This is usually a high time for hay fever, allergies, and other breathing issues. So, you know, I am a perfect story for this process. And why is that? Well, because I actually had allergies and chiropractic helped me with my allergies so that I was actually not having to take medication. So when I was young, I had to take medication, like literally I could not ride a horse. My eyes would get red, swollen every time I did it. But then even worse than that, what I started to get is I actually started to get teary eyes. I'd be working at my dad's shop. My dad's a mechanic for all of those who know. And I would be working on cars and I'd be sneezing, I'd be coughing, my eyes would be running, and I had to take medication. So I literally started taking medication at age 15 or 16 called Seldane for these allergy symptoms or the hay fever. They usually lasted 3 or 4 months, and then I didn't really have them the rest of the year. Well, I started seeing a chiropractor when I was 21. And by the time the next season rolled around, allergies didn't hit. My eyes didn't run. My throat didn't itch. I didn't cough. I was not sneezing all the time. What was the difference? I literally was taking no different supplementation. I had just been getting adjusted. It's the one thing that I had changed in my life. So we're going to jump into that and hopefully give you an idea as to why the heck chiropractic may be helping with what is changing in your body and how your body's reacting to the environment. So let's get started. We want to make sure that you understand that treating the symptoms is not treating the cause of the disease. So let's jump into this. So what body signals come when your immune system is either overreacting or underreacting? That's right, we get allergies, we get hay fever, we get rhinitis, which is colds or running nose, we get asthma, we get eczema, right? So the overall prevalence of asthma, this is huge, right? In 2009, the Centers of Health and Statistics for the Centers of Disease Control estimated the prevalence of asthma in the United States was 17.5 million people. This is 7.1 adults, 7.1 million children. More than half were severe or uncontrolled asthma, resulting in asthma attacks. So these 17 million doctors went to doctors' offices and emergency rooms and accounted for over 456,000 hospitalizations. So despite the advancements in diagnostic and treatment and medication, asthma still remains a serious disease that's responsible for more than 3,000 deaths annually. So let's jump in and understand what's happening with the allergic epidemic, right? So we've been seeing a dramatic rise. Look at the trends here, right? The 1900s, 1940s, 60s, and then in 1970, 1965, we started seeing a major takeoff in allergen-specific IgE. So this is a way that our body actually reacts to the allergens in the air. Rhinitis increased, atopic dermatitis, and asthma. All these things started to increase in 1960. So what we want to talk about is where these are happening. Thousands of people are living in fear of the next outbreak. Runny nose, especially this year, right? Because if you show any of these symptoms, what do people think? Yep, you are right. So runny nose, itchy eyes, congestion, breathing issues. If you're out there, go ahead and give me a thumbs up if you've had any of these. And if you have any questions of them, make sure to write us in the comments section so that we can make sure that we answer any of these as quickly as possible and hopefully steer this conversation in your direction. So we refer to symptoms as body signals, right? Are you listening? Are you listening to what your body's saying? Because we know that the body is intelligent, right? It's what we teach all the time. The body wants to be healthy, and your smart body's trying to tell you that it's moving away from health and towards sickness and disease when you have more symptoms. Your symptoms are literally an alarm system, a communication from your body to your brain and brain to your body to make sure that your consciousness understands. So it's asking you to literally make a change your habit, change your diet, change your sleep pattern. But what are we really doing, and how are we listening to these body signals, right? So there's a list of symptoms of an immune system that's gone haywire, and that's everything that happens in hay fever, right? So what are you told to do, right? Usually you're told to take drugs, avoid triggers, or worse, that it runs in your family. So suck it up. This is how it's going to be. So we push on and we push on, we cover up the symptoms while we get sicker. Maybe we're a little bit more comfortable, but our body is getting worse over time. So we want to make sure that we're understanding and listening to our body signals, right? So our immune system, what's its purpose? How does it work? How does it develop, right? Well, the purpose of our immune system is to attack invaders that come into our system so that our body can live for longer, right? The immune system is an expensive system, meaning it takes a lot of energy to run. It works by literally different immunoglobulins in your blood attacking, whether it's a virus, a bacteria, or some kind of pollen that comes into your system. Your body reacts to that. And how does your immune system develop? Well, this develops from the time you're born. From the time you enter this world, even the birth process going through the vaginal canal makes it so your immune system gets jump-started, right? When you come into this world, you have very little immunity. You have very little immune system. But within the first few weeks, you have an immunity to thousands of different things in the environment because your body is smart and your body starts to move in the right direction, starts to sense these things and understand how to operate, right? So we want to make sure that the immune system is working at its best, right? You can see on the screen, we've got this defensive fighter. So immune system 101, let's just talk about the basics. The body's defense system against infection, invaders. Think about the armed forces, right? Like the armed forces, there are many facets. There's an intelligence, think national intelligence, FBI, CIA, etc. And then armed forces to respond. So the Army, the Air Force, Navy, Marines, all specialists trained for various types of different issues. So it's a network of specialized cells, right? The immune response attacks organisms and substances that could threaten or harm the body. It's a network of specialized cells, tissues, organs that work together to protect the body against invaders. Organs like the tonsils, the thymus glands that work in a coordinated manner to tell the nervous system, the endocrine system, the immune system to monitor the body and defend it against the invaders that are coming. So these could be germs or other substances that may harm the body, as well as playing a critical role in tissue repair and healing after an injury. So when this incredibly complex and sophisticated system is functioning optimally, you stay healthy. We are under constant attack from potentially harmful bacteria, viruses, and cancers. But the immune system is constantly at work, literally always in a state of surveillance and defense. As potential threats and invaders are a constant part of life and are ever present, the immune system literally has to keep harm at bay, defending you 24/7 when it's working properly. But the immune system can either overreact or underreact. And guess what we end up with? This is where we start to end up with these symptoms that we talk about with allergies, right? So this is one remarkable idea of how the body's innate intelligence works. So here's an example. When a foreign particle that poses a threat to the body is detected, specialized cells are released. A complex physiological cascade of responses is triggered that includes production of powerful chemicals that promote a defensive-like mechanism. This can be inflammation, increased heat and fever, and mucus production. Often these reactions manifest as many of the bothersome symptoms that we associate with getting sick or having an allergic reaction. In a normal, healthy body, these symptoms or body signals are actually a healthy and an intelligent response and are critical to the body ridding itself of a threat and restoring health, as uncomfortable as they may be. Now, this discomfort, get this, has literally fueled the creation of a multi-trillion-dollar pharmaceutical industry and pervasive drug culture that's trained people to seek symptom suppression over health restoration. Of course, all that comes at a price greater than money, and more on that later. But sometimes the body does malfunction and the immune system can break down and be unresponsive. In the case of immunosuppression, the downregulation of the immune system can lead to terrible health issues and sickness, right? So we want to think about these things because if we understand how the body is reacting, right, then we don't want to suppress some of these symptoms. Think about this. This is an easy example. If you get a fever, is a fever a good thing or a bad thing? Go ahead and type it in. Let me see, right? Yeah, a fever is actually a good thing. It doesn't feel like a bad or like a good thing, but it actually helps to cook whatever invader is inside you. So you start to feel better, right? But the body can overreact sometimes and can lead to many of the common conditions that people struggle with literally every single day. These are symptoms and conditions. These body signals include seasonal allergies, hay fever, food allergies, pet allergies, bronchial asthma, and inflammatory skin conditions like eczema. The inflammatory conditions are known broadly as atopic disorders, conditions that result from an oversensitivity of the immune system, specifically related to very powerful IgE mediated responses. Powerful immune modulators called IgE immunoglobulins regulate inflammatory responses in the body. And when this system goes sideways, the body is considered to be in a state of hypersensitivity or hyperallergenic, and it's primed to overreact to this stimulation. The good news is that science is beginning to understand the root cause of these reactions. So armed with this new information, we can start to take some action steps. So let's look at this. Natural development, right? Healthy is normal. Let's get back to our premise. Sickness is abnormal. Yes, it is normal to be healthy. You are literally designed to be healthy. Your body is hardwired to heal and survive. Your immune system is a critical part of this design and objective. So you're born with an incredible operating system. So think of your computer. It's an operating system, right? And the software is what is the intelligence that runs that computer. That intelligence has literally been passed down for thousands of generations of successful human beings before you. It's truly a remarkable inheritance. But you are also designed to require exposure to some challenges in your environment to train and develop your immune system. So let's get back to the armed forces analogy. First, recruits attend boot camp for basic fitness training. Then soldiers learn how to go hand-to-hand combat, then knife fighting, then rifles, then handguns, and eventually explosives, right? Each level of challenge creates new skill and more effective and powerful soldier. The same can be said for your internal armed forces. Your immune system must be challenged naturally to fully mature and develop. So here are a few of these specific crucial steps. So in utero, transplacental immunity, labor is a struggle, vaginal delivery is exposure to mother's normal flora, breastfeeding is where we get a lot of our immunity, siblings, so expanding the environment, meeting more people, the germs that come in, the teething, the dirt, fever, childhood illness. I always tell our patients that when your kids or when you it's a struggle of your immune system, then that's your immune system going to the gym and working out. So our body's always working toward the right pattern. So unnatural development, right? Modern medical approaches to child development, C-section, formula fed, interference with medications, vaccinations, right? We look at the hygiene hypothesis, which is where, in short, we become clean freaks. So over sanitization of a child's birth process, right? Home environment and food sources had dramatically reduced the natural exposure to bacteria, viruses, molds, etc., all of which are normally part of the natural human design so that our bodies can start to function better. So the consequence is children are left with untrained neuroimmune responses that lack the critical normal flora that will serve and protect them over their lifetime, right? So we want to understand that C-sections, we don't get the bacterial exposure of a vaginal birth. Formula-fed kids don't get the natural immunity from their parents. Most formulas are highly toxic for people, so we're not able to actually thrive as we should when we're young, right? So the triggers can be toxins, they can be allergens, or they can be dietary. A person who lacks that developed immune system, these exposures can contribute to hyperallergenic reactions. These are seen in these atopic disorders, and most commonly known triggers can be environmental toxins, allergens like pollen, pet dander, or dust mites, and food allergies. So we're going to talk about nerve supply. Now, here's something that you probably don't know, right? Research is now showing how the relationship between the nervous system and the immune system is highly integrated and critical to normal function and health. The most compelling data involves the hypothalamic pituitary axis, or the HPA axis. This is a key regulatory system that involves the hypothalamus, the anterior pituitary, and the adrenal cortex. The HPA plays a central role in regulating and modulating your body's immune responses. So think the natural national intelligence agencies working hand in hand with the armed forces. Any disturbance in this critical system upsets the vital balance and performance of your immune system. So subluxation, right? Subluxation is when that joint gets misaligned. It's a common spinal condition. The subluxation occurs when that misalignment happens, soft tissue damage starts to occur. We get joint dysfunction, nerve irritation, remember that, and the spinal column starts to have a dysfunction. The dysfunction in the spinal joint creates a nerve system stress that upsets the HPA axis, which in turn upsets the immune system. So studies show that stress, sleep cycles, and tissue damage or injury can upset the HPA axis. So specifically, subluxation causes an increase in stress hormones like cortisol, which can simultaneously suppress the normal immune function and prime the immune system to be hypersensitized, right? So what we're going to take a look at next is a study that was done. So this is the relationship between vertebral deformities and allergic diseases, right? So we're going to take a look at this in the Internet Journal of Orthopedic Surgery. So vertebral misalignment in allergic disease patients. So I'm just going to read through this. Patients was present from the 2nd to 4th thoracic vertebra. So we're talking about upper part of the back. And then the 8th to 10th. So this is down below your shoulder blades, above, maybe a little bit below the bra line. The vertebral misalignment associated with bronchial asthma was T2 to T4, so up higher. Chronic vertebral misalignments associated with atopic dermatitis, so we're down lower in the mid-back, 8 to 10 thoracic vertebra. The next one is chronic vertebral misalignments. In this paper showed chronic narrowing of the intervertebral foramina. That's where the nerve actually comes out. The reciprocal innervation between the brain and organ is continually or severely impacted. So because the chronicity of neurotripsy caused by the intervertebral narrowing of the foramina due to changes in the 8th to the 10th thoracic vertebra, in a forward and downward direction, the immune system related to innervation of organs such as the adrenal glands, adrenal cortex is chronically and severely impaired. Now, just think about this. This is research that's being done not in chiropractic, but in an orthopedic journal. So allergy, this is where we see the definition of this, right? An allergic reaction, formerly known as type 1 hypersensitivity, is the result of an inappropriate immune response triggered inflammation, vasodilation, and nerve irritation. Common example is hay fever, which is caused by a hypersensitivity response to mast cells and allergens. So we're starting to see chemicals get released like histamine, right? These chemicals propagate an excessive inflammatory response characterized by blood vessel dilation, pro-inflammatory molecules, and cytokine release. So this is a big part that we really start to see having an effect. Atopic is a syndrome characterized by tendency to be hyperallergenic. Many physicians and scientists term atopy for IgE-mediated reaction. A person with atopy typically presents with one or more of the following: eczema, allergic runny nose, hay fever, or asthma. I'm going to just move through these a little bit quicker. But basically what this is talking about is when we have altered function of the spine and the nervous system, we start to see an increase in what's going on. So here's the conclusion. We're able to obtain significant alleviation of these diseases and improvement of the neurotripsy caused by the chronically narrowed intervertebral foramina from 8 to 10 thoracic vertebra. This is innervation region relating to the adrenal glands, the adrenal cortex, impacting many of the changes in the vertebra caused by the vertebral misalignment in the thoracic region. This is commonly present in allergic disease patients. So again, we're seeing this in this orthopedic surgery journal. So it's a big deal for us to really understand how the body functions. And this is what we've been teaching all along with how your body's able to function. Yes, many people come to us because of back pain and neck pain, but we get to see the side effects of chiropractic going away by adjusting and helping the nervous system to function better, right? So this dysfunction from the nerve irritation from subluxation can manifest in many ways, right? So when we look at allergies or allergies and sinus problems, you can see here C2 is top part of your neck, C6 to C7 is lower in your neck, and then T8 to T10 is where all these arrows are. These nerves go to all the different organs, systems, and again, if they underreact or overreact, what symptoms do we get? That's right, we get asthma, right? So do you think when somebody is diagnosed with asthma, it would be good to have their spine and nervous system checked? Well, based on the research, we're really seeing the answer is yes. Is it effective to give people steroids in form of inhalers? Of course it is. It helps to get the body breathing. And in an acute situation, this may be the right thing to do. But let's look a little bit deeper and look for the cause of what's going on. This could be something that helps you or a family member. Bronchial asthma, again, is C2, T2 down to T4, and then even down in the sacrum, right? So you're going to see a lot of similarities between many of these. Eczema. Eczema is that itching, scratching, raised irritation of the skin, right? This is going to be, again, T2 to T4, T8 to T10 is the main area because this is the area where the corticosteroid or the cortisone is released, or cortisol, I guess better. This is the area that is supplying the liver and the kidneys. Also down at S1 to S3. So we talk about, okay, well, what causes subluxation, right? What causes these misalignments in the spine that are going to cause nerve irritation that in turn are going to cause your immune system and your body to over or underreact, right? These come from stress, right? Bad habits add together. So these can be bad thoughts, toxins, and traumas. Both macro traumas like big car accidents, slips and falls, and sports injuries, but more so today are micro traumas. They're far more common, right? What are micro traumas? We talk about this in the office all the time. Poor posture, sleep positions, and repetitive activities. People today face an incredibly unnatural amount of stress, and our bodies have a hard time handling that. When we unpack the stresses of daily life, right, and highlight the postural stresses associated with sitting too much, too much screen time, especially now with tablets and phones. And over this past year, I think we've all had enough screen time. These are the chief causes of exactly the subluxation patterns that cause these very issues of asthma and allergies, right? Because we're causing this to come forward, putting stress on the lower neck, the upper back, and then also into that middle part of the back, right? T2, T4 is commonly associated with prolonged sitting in front of a monitor. Why do you think that is? The head comes forward. Where does all that stress go? That's right in that upper part of your back. And constant phone use puts the upper spine and neck in a worse position to cause these aggravations. So again, phone, right? This is one lesson from today. So we can look at the phone like this, right? We see people like this all the time in the mall, when you're on the plane, when you're driving, all of these things. But simple changes, right? Either bring your phone up so you're looking here, or even if your phone's down low, tip from your skull so you just tuck your chin down, then your head's not coming all the way down. We are able to reduce some of that stress, right? So sitting too much is a primary cause of trunk deconditioning, meaning that your body's getting weaker, deconditioning the muscles, and we see muscle wasting, fatigue in the thoracolumbar or the mid to lower back area. Again, exactly the area where the spine gets irritated. The good news is these things are totally correctable, and that's what we as chiropractors work on, right? How do you know if you have a subluxation? I gave that away. You get checked by a chiropractor. 5 objective measurements that we look at is instrumentation, motion palpation, static palpation. This is when we're touching and feeling and seeing how your body actually works. Visualization, and then x-ray, right? These let us see what's going on the inside, see how your posture, see how your daily life is affecting you. And then what do we do, right? We want to see what we need to do, what we need to stop doing, what we need to slow down, and things that we have to start doing. So what now? What are your next steps to correct these issues? Of course, these are lifestyle changes, right? The hardest things to do. These are the things that you should make immediately to help reconcile some of the toxicity and deficiency that has developed over the years. Based on what we discussed in this workshop, your action items are, ready? We want to hydrate. When cellular water levels go too low, when you're dehydrated, your body produces histamine, right? Dr. Michelle and I talked about this earlier in the month. This has a powerful pro-inflammatory effect in the body. So what does this mean? It's going to cause more histamine reaction, meaning it's going to cause more swelling and inflammation. So it's going to make you have more pain, but also have more other symptoms as well. Avoid mucus building foods like dairy, white flour, and simple sugars. Replenish your normal bacterial flora with a quality full spectrum probiotic, eating things like sauerkraut, fermented foods, things like that, have them in your system, right? Restore your essential fatty acid balance with omega-3 supplementation. So this is fish oil. We have excellent fish oils here to make sure that helps to decrease the inflammation and reduce that low-grade chronic inflammation. Get back to a healthy sleep pattern. Give yourself a bedtime, right? We give our kids a bedtime. Why not give ourselves a bedtime as well, right? So we want to restore that natural hormonal cycle by getting into that good sleep. And most importantly, get your spine and nervous system checked. It's huge. So the big idea is that your body is designed to be healthy. It's literally hardwired to return to health if you take the right steps. Your body's totally intelligent and will restore the proper function of the immune system if you correct the underlying cause of dysfunction. You can correct the cause of the problem and get your health back, but the next steps are up to you. You've really got to take action in this thing, right? So eat for the health of it, right? Eat for the health of it. Unlimited vegetables, plenty of clean, lean cuts of natural meat, fish, and eggs, right? So we're looking at pasture-raised chickens and eggs. We're looking at grass-fed beef. We're looking at good quality meats, right? Some fruits, nuts, and seeds, no refined carbohydrates, and unnatural or simple sugars, right? Choose your attitude. You cannot always choose your situation, but you can always choose your attitude. This is a big skill set. have connection, acceptance, and respect, right? People are hardwired to require these things. So we also want to have an energy exchange. Be mindful of the energy exchanges in your relationships. Have unconditional love, right? Love makes the world go round. Choose to tolerate and love despite behavior, right? Also, grace, right? It's God's economy. Forgive and love even when they do not deserve it. We will need this too. And I think we've all learned this a little bit more over this past year. Specific nutritional supplements. This is huge. This has been a game changer for so many of our patients. If you're suffering with acute hay fever or allergies this season, I recommend you get HistaEase. We've just stocked up on this so that you can get the support you need. It's a blend of herbs, vitamins, minerals to help your body be able to better react. It helps your body's immune system react naturally rather than too much or too little, right? Number 2 is having a good vitamin C supplement. We want to make sure that we're increasing our vitamin C because that helps with our immune system. It helps with our natural cellular function. Stellar C is one of the best vitamin C supplements that we've seen from Whole Foods. Whole Foods are key in supplementation because why? Our body is used to food for its nutrition, for its energy, and to turn that energy from the food into power in our own body, right? So what's holding you back, right? Get checked. Make sure that you, your family, your friends are getting checked by your local chiropractor. Schedule a consultation now. Give us a call at the office. Go ahead and connect with us on our website, on our Facebook page. I know we've got some awesome things that are out there right now where you can get an exam for virtually nothing. Number 3 issue with us having a health crisis is procrastination. Don't procrastinate, right? We want to make sure that you're taking advantage and becoming a stronger you. I'm so happy that many of you had an opportunity today, and hopefully you were able to get something from this and take some action steps away. I'm Dr. Jeremy with Energize Chiropractic and Wellness. Give us a call, schedule a consultation. We do free consultations. The examination there is a cost for, but I know that we have some options to where you can get in for a good cost and really see what we can do. See how you can become healthier by getting healed from the inside out, not from the outside in. And I'll leave you today with our mission statement. We are passionate about providing inspired strategies for those who seek to thrive in an inherently stressful world. Through education and state-of-the-art technology, we give our patients the tools to become active participants in their own well-being. We help restore health, vitality, and wellness to energize your life. Again, I'm Dr. Jeremy with Energize Chiropractic and Wellness, and I look forward to seeing you in the office to help you expand your health and well-being. Have